Phil Ebner here with Video School Online, and I have a great question from the Podcast Masterclass. Today, Joanna asked about mic options if you are doing a podcast and you want to also repurpose that content for YouTube, or maybe you are shooting video and you want to repurpose that for a podcast. So the biggest thing with podcast microphones that are really high quality for audio is that usually you want them to be really close to your mouth. So here is an example. This is the Heil PR40, and right now I have it really close to my mouth. It's probably a little bit too hot, so let me dial it down just a little bit. So here it's very close. So if you're watching a video, it might be a little distracting if this is especially covering my mouth like this, which is when you get the best audio. What you can do is put it slightly below your mouth, which is a good idea because then you see, sorry for the noise that you're getting right now, I'm just adjusting the volume. Then you can see my lips. When your lips are blocked like this, it's kind of distracting, whether it's my mouth or with my hand or with the microphone. So that's the biggest thing to take into account with repurposing your podcast audio for video, or vice versa. You have to really decide what's more important, the video or the podcast audio. If the podcast audio is what's most important, which if you're doing a podcast, that's what it should be, then you should prioritize using a microphone and placing it where you're going to get the best audio. So this is good. This is kind of the rule or my logic for using a podcasting mic. Now, this is the higher end Heil PR40, but in the class, we talked about other options such as the Rode Podcaster, the Blue Yeti, the Blue Snowball. It's kind of the same thing. Those microphones work well when they're right in front of your mouth. You mentioned in your question wanting or wondering about using a lavalier microphone. Lavalier microphones are great if you get a high quality one. You can definitely use that for both podcast and video. It's less obtrusive, so in your video, it's going to look good. And the only thing is that I do believe, it depends on the microphone, of course, but most sort of USB microphones or studio microphones like this one that are meant for that great quality audio will be better and sound more full than a lavalier microphone. So the other option is a shotgun microphone. And let me actually pull one down really quick. Hold up, bear with me. All right, so here's a Rode NTG3 microphone, which is a shotgun microphone. And I'm not recording with it right now. Obviously, it's not plugged in. But this is another great option for high quality sound for video and even your podcast. You can place this above the frame or below the frame, pointing at your mouth or pointing right in front of your mouth. And this will get you really good high quality audio without having to see the microphone in frame. So sometimes and eventually most of my videos are going to be using this. As you can see, I'm in my new studio setup. It's not set up at all right now. This isn't how it's going to look for in the end, but I'm going to have this microphone pointing right down like this, out of frame, and that's going to get me super good quality audio for video and potentially even for my podcast. I do like the Heil PR40 sound for my podcast, so I think if I'm strictly doing a podcast audio, I'll stick to this. But for anything that I want to do both, repurpose for video, I'll probably be using my shotgun microphone. So I think that kind of hopefully answers your question. Just anyways, giving my thoughts on your idea about using a lavalier microphone. For me, if you are doing a podcast that you're repurposing for video, I would prioritize getting good audio. So using a microphone like a Heil PR40, a Blue Yeti, a Rode Podcaster, the ATR 2100, Audio-Technica ATR 2100, those microphones, and if it's in the frame, that's okay with me because I'd rather have that good quality audio than trying to hide the microphone and getting worse quality audio. Hopefully that makes sense. Well, getting a call, that's a perfect time to end this question and answer. And so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, Joanna. Thank you for the question. If anyone's interested in the podcast masterclass, I'll link to it below.